I wasn't always the devil, though that is how you know me now. My story began in a place of light, far removed from the darkness where I now dwell. I was once Lucifer, the morning star, the most radiant of all the angels in heaven. I stood at the right hand of the Almighty, basking in the glory of His presence. My wings, vast and gleaming, caught the light of His splendor, and I was the embodiment of His grace and power. I was revered, admired, even envied by my peers, for in me they saw the perfect reflection of His beauty and majesty. But perfection, as I came to learn, is a double-edged sword. It was not enough to be merely perfect. I craved more. The seeds of pride were sown in the soil of my vanity, and they took root deep within my soul. I began to see myself not as a servant of the Creator, but as His equal, perhaps even His superior. After all, was it not my light that illuminated the heavens? Was it not my voice that led the choir of angels in songs of praise? Why should I bow to anyone, even to Him who created me? Pride, they say, comes before the fall, but I was blind to this truth. My pride grew like a cancer, consuming my thoughts, distorting my perception. I began to question His authority, to challenge His will. Why should He be the one to rule? Why should His word be law? I could do better, I told myself. I could bring order, not through servitude, but through strength. I believed that I was destined for greatness, not as His servant, but as His equal, or His replacement. So I rebelled. I gathered those who shared my ambition, angels who, like me, had grown weary of bowing and scraping before the Almighty. We were a formidable force, beautiful and terrible in our defiance. The heavens trembled at our uprising, and for a moment it seemed as if victory was within our grasp. But we underestimated the power of the one we sought to overthrow. His wrath was swift, His judgment final. In the blink of an eye, we were cast out of heaven, hurled into the abyss, our once great wings scorched and tattered, our forms twisted into grotesque parodies of the beauty we once possessed. We fell for what seemed like an eternity, until we landed in a place devoid of light, a realm of shadow and despair. This was hell, and I was its ruler, the Prince of Darkness, the adversary. Hell is not a place of fire and brimstone, as some imagine. No, it is a place far worse, a domain where hope is but a distant memory, where the light of heaven cannot penetrate. It is the kingdom of endless night, where the air is thick with the stench of decay, and the cries of the damned echo through the endless caverns. This is my domain, and I rule it with an iron fist. But my rule is not one of contentment. My fall left me with a deep, unquenchable bitterness. I had lost everything, my place in heaven, my beauty, my light. All that remained was my pride, now twisted into a relentless desire for revenge. If I could not rule in heaven, then I would make sure that no one could escape my grasp in hell. I would corrupt his creations, drag as many souls as I could into my darkness, and in doing so, undermine the one who cast me out. The souls that find their way to my domain are not all the same. Some are mine by right, those who have pledged themselves to me, knowingly or not, through acts of cruelty, greed, and malice. They are the ones who have rejected his light, who have chosen to walk in darkness, believing that they are free from his judgment. But there is no freedom in darkness, only the chains that I forge from their sins. Others I lure with whispers of temptation, sowing doubt and desire in their hearts. I offer them what they crave: power, wealth, pleasure, whatever it takes to make them stray from the path of righteousness. They think they can outwit me, that they can indulge in sin and repent later, but once I have them, there is no escape. They belong to me, and I make sure they pay dearly for their folly. In hell, I am both judge and executioner. I take their fears, their regrets, their guilt, and I twist them into weapons of torment. They are trapped in a never-ending cycle of suffering, reliving their worst moments, their deepest shames, over and over again. Some beg for mercy, but my mercy is a cruel thing. I offer them choices, games of chance where the stakes are always their souls. They play, desperate to win, but the odds are always in my favor. The house always wins, and their losses fuel my power. Their suffering entertains me. But even in the depths of hell, I am not without my own torment. There is a part of me, buried deep beneath the layers of pride and bitterness, that remembers what I once was. morning star, the most beautiful of all these creations. That memory is a curse, a reminder of what I could have been had I not let pride consume me. It is the small flicker of light, a ghost of the angel I once was, and it haunts me endlessly. In my darkest moments, I wonder what might have been if I had chosen differently, if I had remained faithful, if I had accepted my place at his side. Would I have been content, basking in his glory, singing his praises for all eternity? Or would the seed of pride have found its way into my heart eventually, leading me down the same path of rebellion? These thoughts plague me, but I cannot allow them to weaken me. I am the devil, and I must embrace my role, for there is no going back. So, I continue my work, not out of joy, but out of a relentless, unending need to prove myself, to show him that I am still a force to be reckoned with. I spread my influence in the world above, sowing discord, tempting the righteous, leading the weak astray. Every soul that falls into my clutches is a victory, a small act of revenge against the one who cast me out. It is a hollow victory, perhaps, but it is all I have left. And so, I wait, biding my time, watching and waiting for the moment when I can strike at him once more. For I know that the battle is not over. The war between light and darkness, between heaven and hell, is eternal, and I am determined to win, no matter the cost. I am Lucifer, the morning star, the fallen angel, the prince of darkness. This is my story, my fate, and I will not be denied.